I think the most that I laughed during Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania was when I went to the bathroom and the guy a couple urinals over, as he let it flow, he farted. I told him, Gesundheit. And we had a little chuckle. That's about it. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here, bringing you a film review of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. These titles sounding like theme park rides, but yes, of course, we know about this movie. We have Paul Rudd, we have Miss Lily in there, we have Michael Douglas, we have Michelle Pfeiffer, my God. Silver Fox, I tell you what. And then, of course, we got Jonathan Majors as well as Kang, which is introducing Kang, and he's going to be the new baddie, the big baddie when it comes to Phase 5, and I don't know exactly how many phases he's going to be the big baddie, but hey, we got an introduction right here. So here we have Kang, and of course, it pretty much takes place completely in the quantum realm because, well, Cassie been, in the past 5 years, she's been a little smarty pants and figured out how to send a signal down to the quantum realm, which makes sense since her dad was trapped down there, so she was trying to figure all that out, and she's a smart one, obviously. Genetics down from Scott. He's a smart one, too, and then, they turn on something, and they all get sucked down in there, and there's a whole new world of craziness, and then, of course, we have Kang. So what did I think of Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania? Hey, you saw my first reaction. Fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I didn't really even like it that much, to be honest. I'm kind of just about it because, it just was one of those where it's just, you watch it and then I said it was a low budget Star Wars, which I'm like going, well, that's kind of dumb because it probably wasn't low budget, but it just had a lot of Star Wars feel to it. Too much, I felt. I felt it was a little too Star Wars-y. And I'm not, not talking about old Star Wars, talking about more new Star Wars. Because just all the different creatures and everything. I mean, they have a broccoli guy. That's right, they have a broccoli guy. And he has his own emoji on Twitter. And in the movie, he does hit on Hope because, you have to put that in there because he's at a bar and the broccoli guy is going to find a human being hot. No broccoli women? I love Paul Rudd, always will, and he's always likable, always great, but I even feel like, he was underused. Like, the first Ant-Man was just, I don't know, there's something about it. The heist portion, the heist movie that it was, and it just seemed like it just was a lot more fun. And then when it came to the second one, they kind of dumbed him down, and I think they just didn't really bring him back up. I mean, my biggest gripe was just the whole Cassie. I mean, obviously you hear her name spoken so many times, more than Vin Diesel says family. I mean, that's what the whole thing is about, is him trying to find out, where's my daughter? I mean, he's like Jodie Foster in that Airplane movie. But, it was kind of annoying because, I mean, obviously, and like I said, I didn't like the actor they chose. She was just like one speed. Like she had like barely any emotions, and she was almost like, remember how we used to make fun of Kristen Stewart when she was in the Twilight movies? It's pretty much what it was. It was like frightening. And then there's like during the final act, when there's literally like a war going on, her helmet, she kept on taking, I don't know what they do when they could just flip the helmet off, but her helmet kept coming off and then coming back on, and I was getting so far, I was like, keep the helmet on! You're in the middle of a war, why do we have to keep seeing your face? The dialogue was bad, Michael Douglas phoned it in. I mean, he was much better in the first one. Michelle Pfeiffer, a little better, but, and I do like when they establish a relationship between her and Kang. They kind of do a little backstory because obviously she was in there for 30 years, so she knew who he was. Even though that part of the story was kind of weird, it's like, why don't you warn? Okay, but, I get it, I guess. But, she's great, and of course, she just, she's a fine wine. My God, she's a silver fox, just aging so gracefully. And then, I didn't really like Hope. Hope was just kind of, whatever. But Jonathan Majors is the shining light. He's great. Great actor. I mean, he's just kind of just popping off right now. We got Creed 3 that's coming out, and he's going to be showing more of those chops, and he's just killing it right now, and I think he's going to kill it as Kang. And that was the most fascinating part of the whole movie, was him explaining, because obviously every villain has to do their little monologue and explain everything that's happening. But I did appreciate it because, he talked more about the variants and multiverse and all that, which we kind of already got introduced to in Loki, and then, of course, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So it was nice to hear a little bit more of that. So yeah, it was fun. You know, that was cool. Other than that, it's just kind of for me. It's forgettable. Pretty forgettable, but except for Jonathan Majors. I'm like, all right, looking forward to that because the two post-credit scenes has to do with Jonathan Majors and Kang. So I'm going to do spoilers right now. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the first one shows the different variants, very much different variants of Kang, which I thought was cool, and I'm not too familiar with Kang, so I know some people have been talking about it. So the first one just kind of showed like 3 different distinctive Kangs, and then all of a sudden there's like a stadium full of Kangs. So that's going to be interesting how they incorporate that. Very much looking forward to that. And then, of course, there was the post-credit scene, which had Kang, or at least Jonathan Majors, you know, back in like the early 1900s or late 1800s. And then who's sitting out in the crowd? Loki and wow, there he is. Wow, Mobius. Not Morbius, that's a whole different movie. What am I thinking? Anyways, so I thought that was pretty cool that they were like, all right, so there is some attachment to Loki at least. So, but there you go, guys. That's my review. It's for me. I would say watch it at least for the Kang stuff so you get that introduction. But other than that, I mean, there's some cool visuals. And, you know, there's some cool moments, sure, but other than that, I was just kind of about it. So let me know your thoughts about it down below. What did you think about it? Hit that like, thumbs up, do all that stuff, and I'll love you for it. And follow me on all the sock meds that are around me and everything. All right, guys. Talk to you later.